Dígame.
He's going to put tape and then gauze and then tape.
He's not allowed to put tape over the head first, so he's allowed to put a little bit of gauze first, so there's no tape over the skin.
He's stacking. That's what you talked about yesterday. No, I can't have that. No, I cannot have that.
Okay.
That's not gonna happen.
There's nothing wrong with that.
That's not going to happen. No, that's what you talked about yesterday. That's stacking.
No, that's not stacking,
Francisco.
man.
That's exactly what you said
No,
yesterday.
sir, that's not stacking. That's a very light wrap.
I'm gonna.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm gonna file a protest on that. Okay?
Go ahead.
Just
Go
so you know
ahead.
that. Okay.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Done this about 2,000 times or more. We talked about this yesterday. You even told me that you taught him how to rap.
No, he's stacking. That's what he's doing.
That's not stacking. That's a light.
Welcome back to Keep It Real Boxing. This is Cypher Box. Okay, so the drama continues between Team Triple G and Team Canelo. What I just played you there at the beginning, that video was from last year. Okay, that video was Abel Sanchez last year complaining during Canelo Alvarez having his hands wrapped. He was complaining that, you know, Canelo's trainer was stacking. So he was stacking while doing Canelo's hand wraps and potentially creating a hardened cast under the glove. Now as you heard, the official that was there overseeing the wrapping of Canelo Alvarez's hands said it was fine, there was no issue with it. He explained himself as to why. Okay, so basically what I'm trying to say is that last year there was an issue, right? Now this year there isn't an issue. Obviously they haven't even got to the fight yet, but there's already an issue with Canelo Alvarez's gloves apparently. So Abel Sanchez has now protested to the Nevada State Athletics Commission that he's against Canelo Alvarez wearing the brand of gloves he's going to wear on the night of the fight. Now these brand of gloves belong to Canelo's trainer. He's started a new, it's his idea, it's a new initiative. He's coming out with his own brand of boxing gloves called No Boxing, No Life. Now apparently these gloves are being used in Mexico in some pro fight competitions, but it hasn't been used in the US or in any sort of high elite level fight, boxing fights or championship fights, etc. And one of his arguments is that we don't know the durability of these gloves, whether they can stand up to a championship fight. He says, what if they break during the fight and then they have to retape or re-glove Canelo? That gives him the advantage, etc., etc., and all this sort of stuff. And he's saying it hasn't been used in the US, so how do we know the durability of these gloves? Now, everyone's got their opinion on this, and you're entitled to your opinions, yeah? This is just my opinion, right? The gloves have to meet regulations, right? The Nevada State Athletics Commission have a set of regulations, and the gloves would have to meet those regulations. There's a set of criteria, yeah? There's criteria for it. They would have to meet, you know, the weight of the gloves should be a certain weight, the padding, you know, they would check the seaming and all that sort of stuff, etc., etc., and then overall check the durability of the glove. Put their hand in the glove, feel it, all that sort of stuff before they would approve it. It's obviously past the regulations and the criteria, you know, set by the Nevada State Athletics Commission. Yeah, so there shouldn't be an issue with these gloves being used. Simple as that. Okay, here's my take on it. Yeah, I couldn't care less what gloves Canelo Alvarez uses. Whether he uses No Boxing, No Life, or whether he uses Grant's gloves, which I've seen him use in the past, I don't care. All I care about is that we get a fight, we get a good fight, and we get some good entertainment out of it. Remember, I'm a neutral boxing fan, so I don't really care which one of these guys wins the fight. I will have my prediction, but it doesn't mean I necessarily care whether that person wins, whether that fighter that I choose wins or not, okay? I just want to be entertained on the night and see a good night of boxing. So I'm going to make my 2 points when it comes to this whole situation, and then I'll leave the rest up to you guys. But one, Abel Sanchez, from what I understand, hasn't even seen the gloves. So how does he know whether the gloves are durable, whether they're fit for purpose, etc., etc., etc.? Has he checked, you know, the durability of the gloves, put his hand in the gloves? Everyone's using this whole Mayweather versus Marcos Maidana situation as an example from both sides. So they're basically saying that, you know, look at Mayweather, you know, he refused Maidana his gloves and etc. But that happened the day before the fight. Yeah, I believe it was. Now, the day before the fight, the commissioner was there, all the fighter was there, the trainer was there, and then Mayweather put his hand in Maidana's glove. He actually examined it himself physically, put his hands in the glove, and he said, "Look, there's no padding in there. There's no padding. You can feel my knuckles through the glove." He goes, no, he's not wearing that. We're not accepting that. No. And he's shown it to the commissioner. He goes, yeah, well, there is a lack of padding in this. Put him in a set of my gloves. That's it. It's done. Yeah, that I can understand. When you get there, you know, the day before the fight, and you look at it, you look at the gloves and say, nope, these aren't acceptable. I'm sorry, guys. I'm not allowing this. Yeah. So to make a protest without actually examining the gloves yourself, that doesn't really make a lot of sense to me. Yeah. You could turn around and say, hey, look, I'm obviously not going to get to see the gloves, you know, until the day before or 2 days before the fight. So could we make sure that he has a backup brand of gloves that he can use, because like a pair of Grants or something, or a couple of pair of Grants, because I may not be satisfied with the durability of those gloves, regardless of the fact that you guys have commissioned them, right? And here's my second point, which I think is more important than the first point I made. I think that Abel Sanchez doesn't really care about what brand of gloves Canelo Alvarez uses. Yeah, this is just another opportunity to play head games. Yeah, with Canelo Alvarez, to get into his head, to piss him off, to get him to fight the way Abel Sanchez wants him to fight. Angry and standing very still in front of Gennady Golovkin instead of boxing and moving and using his boxing skill sets, which, let's be honest, are better than Triple G's. Yeah, that's the aim of the game. He's doing anything and everything he possibly can to rattle Canelo Alvarez's cage. Simple as that, and take him out of his focus and give his fighter the advantage come fight night. It's that simple. Forget about everyone arguing about the gloves and all this sort of stuff. He doesn't care. He's just trying to rattle Canelo Alvarez's cage and trying to rattle the cages of his team, Oscar De La Hoya, Golden Boy, the lot. That's what he's trying to do. It's as simple as that, which shocks me. Yeah, because if you're so confident that you look, listen, the first fight I scored it a draw. Yeah, I personally saw it as a draw. You could disagree with me, that's up to you. Fair enough. You saw Triple G win it, you saw Canelo win it, that's up to you. Yeah, as a neutral boxing fan, I saw it as a draw. That's the way I saw it. Okay, but if you're so confident that you beat Canelo Alvarez easy in the first fight, that you were robbed by the judges, right? Okay, why do you feel the need to have to play all these games and taunt Canelo Alvarez, and by telling him that you ran all night, stand in front of him and actually fight for once, etc, etc? Because if your style of boxing worked in the first fight, okay, and you're saying with that style of boxing that Triple G displayed on the night was more than enough to get the victory against Canelo Alvarez, and you clearly won the fight, why do you feel the need to play all these games? They didn't do it in the build-up for the first fight. But now, suddenly, Abel Sanchez is playing these games. It shows me that Abel Sanchez actually has a lack of confidence in Triple G. That he knows Triple G is going to struggle to cut off the ring against a boxer. I said this before. I've given my honest opinion about this before, where I believe Triple G doesn't do well against boxers. Yeah, that's why that's why the fight against Daniel Jacobs went the distance. That's why the last fight against Canelo Alvarez went the distance. Even when you go back as far as Kell Brook, you know, yeah, he dominated Kell Brook, but if Kell Brook was bigger and a natural middleweight, not a welterweight moving up, you know, and he had natural middleweight power, it'd be interesting to see what would happen in that fight. Because there were moments where Kell Brook was actually outboxing and finding the gaps, finding the holes, and scoring some great shots on the night. But eventually, obviously, he couldn't hack it because Triple G is a natural middleweight. That natural raw power and size was too overwhelming for Kell Brook, and that gave other fighters confidence, like Billy Joe Saunders, who's now mouthing off, Daniel Jacobs, who fought him after that, I think it was, and he took him the distance. And I personally felt Daniel Jacobs won that fight. But if you're that confident that your fighter won the last fight, why would you feel the need to play all these games to get Canelo Alvarez to stand still and trade with your fighter, blow for blow, punch for punch, etc, etc? Why? Toe to toe, why? Clearly, You know your fighter is incapable of doing certain things in the ring. So you're trying to get your opponent to fight in a way which gives your fighter the advantage. Plays into his hands. Yeah, these are all just mind games Abel Sanchez is playing here. Forget about the gloves. Doesn't matter. Canelo Alvarez can strap on a pair of Grant's gloves if he wants to. Yeah, alright, we won't use no boxing, no life. We'll use Grant's, how's that? Yeah? The gloves don't matter here. It's just a mind job he's trying to do on Canelo Alvarez. That's what people are missing. He's trying to play mind games, and he will use any excuse to do that. But that also shows me that there's a lack of confidence in Abel Sanchez. As a trainer, you should be saying, fight any way you want to fight. My fighter is so good, he's going to beat you. Don't you worry, he's going to knock you out on the night. We'll make our adjustments and we're going to take you on, we're going to destroy you. We don't need you to stand in front of us. You fight how you want to fight. Yeah, we'll close the ring off, we'll make it small. Yeah, and we're going to take you out. Right? That's how a confident trainer should be sounding. He can fight any way he wants to fight. I promise you in this rematch, it don't matter. We're going to destroy him. That's a confident trainer. That's what a trainer should be saying. But he's not. He's saying the complete opposite. Which shows me that Abel Sanchez, there's a real lack of confidence there. Now, I don't know. Look, listen, I'm not going to lie. Yeah, I haven't done a prediction video yet. But if I'm honest with you, I think I'm going to go with Canelo Alvarez on this fight. The last fight, I said 50-50. I didn't know who was going to win the fight. I really didn't. But after watching that fight, I'm going to go with Canelo Alvarez on this one. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I just think Canelo Alvarez is a very intelligent boxer. He's got great boxing skill sets. He will adapt and make adjustments on the night. Yeah, but I can only give you a prediction. I can't say for definite. You never know, Triple G might pull it off. But Abel Sanchez should have the confidence as a trainer to say he can come any way he wants. He can box, he can move, he can dance around the ring, he can do whatever he wants. If he wants to call it running, he goes, let him do his running, let him do his running. If that's what he's calling it, right? I'm not saying it's running, don't get me wrong. But that's what Abel Sanchez is calling it. He's calling it running. Do your running. Go run around the lap. Run a couple of laps around the ring. That's fine. We're going to catch you, we're going to close the ring off, and we're going to destroy you. No matter what you do, you can't beat Triple G in the rematch. It won't happen. On fight night, we're gonna own you. That's a confident trainer. He's doing the complete opposite to that. Which means he's showing to me a lack of confidence in his fighter. And his fighter is showing that same lack of confidence. I don't care what his face shows or what comes out, the words that are coming out of their mouths. It's what they're doing. Yeah, and they're putting a lot of energy, maybe not all their energy because that'd be too much to say, but a lot of their energy is being put into trying to get into Canelo Alvarez's head. Okay, so forget about this argument when it comes to the gloves. It's not about the gloves, you know. Who cares? Canelo Alvarez says, fine, we won't use those gloves. I'll use them in my next fight. Give me a pair of Grants, I'll wear a pair of Grants on the night. The gloves aren't the issue here. It's just another excuse for Abel Sanchez to play a head game. To play head games with Canelo Alvarez. And once again, display and show his lack of confidence in himself and his own abilities as a trainer. And not only that, it shows his lack of confidence in his fighter. That's my point of view. That's the way I see it. Anyway guys, as always, like, share and subscribe. Until next time, this is Cypherbox reminding you to keep it real.